Countdown's new episode is exactly the kind of explosive storyline that I signed up for when I started watching the show. Throughout the series' first season, I've realized how Countdown feels more like a network TV show than most streaming productions. There is a single storyline to follow, which is the hunt for Volchek. However, each episode feels like an independent part of the full picture, with some not as relevant to the main goal of the show. That differs from what other popular streaming series, such as Netflix's Stranger Things or Prime Video's own Reacher, attempt to do, as their stories are not as episodic. That said, Countdown interestingly brings a mesh of both formats. I say that because the Prime Video series sure knows how to close an episode. While Season 1 has been constantly good, I'm surprised by just how most episodes seem to spike in terms of tension or shocking events in the last few minutes. Countdown employs cliffhanger quite frequently, and they work wonders for the show. One of my favorites was the uncertainty about whether Drew, Jonathan Togo, who had just been shot, would die or live in the next episode. Countdown did not take long to answer that, with his tragic death happening early in the next episode. That is why I'm dreading the arrival of episode 9, as it could signal another major death. Countdown might have just killed a major character again. The Prime Video series continues to feature shocking moments. Jensen Ackles' Mayachum looking intensely towards Eric Dane's Blythe in Countdown Season 1. It's hard to talk about Countdown Episode 8 without going right into the main event, as the show could look entirely different by the next episode. I was curious about how the latest hour kept pushing the idea that Jensen Ackles' Mayachum had to tell Blythe, Eric Dane, about his tumor. Sure, it would be the right thing to do, however. I felt like revealing that information right after he finally opened up to Oliveras, Jessica Camacho, about it in Countdown Episode 7 would be too fast for the show. As the episode progressed, I started to take in the context clues the show was leaving, like Blythe putting himself in harm's way over Mayachum and their conversation always getting pushed. After some time, I wondered whether something would happen that would make Mayachum and Blythe's conversation impossible. I was still shocked by the show's answer to that question. A betrayal at the hands of the Belarusian consul general would have been expected, but the fact that Volchek killed the man was quite the reveal that I instantly feared for Blythe's life, as I've become fond of the leader of the task force. Volchek has killed many people on screen, so the fact that he stabbed Blythe and the episode ended shortly after gives me hope that he could live. That said, things were not looking good, and Countdown might have had its biggest death. Volchek's flashbacks lead to an explosive moment. This is the second time he faked his death. Volchek in Countdown. Regarding Volchek, Episode 8 is easily one of the best in terms of showcasing his backstory and explaining why he has become a terrorist. Plot points from his past, such as his brother's and wife's deaths, return to haunt him. I enjoyed how the show made it a point to explain Volchek's growing bitterness. He went from being a regular man to being on the run to someone attempting a new start in life. There are different sides to the character, and it's been interesting to watch him go through Countdown's flashbacks. Tricked into blackmailing a city official, Volchek is taken by the police and beaten up by a group of criminals at the precinct. Countdown is the first I've seen of Bogdan Yasinski, but the actor is instantly one to watch. He adds the necessary intensity to every scene with Volchek. Whenever the character is on screen, anything can happen. That leads to his big moment in the episode. Volchek kills the man who offered him help, faking his death once again. Mayachum and Oliveras almost kiss. The romance still has time to blossom. Elsewhere in the episode, there was a moment for family trouble and much-needed romance. We finally get to dive a little bit deeper into Shepard's, Violet Bean, life, with her talking to her mom on the phone and her sister, a total disaster, calls her, deciding to suddenly crash at her place. I want more of that. Seeing pieces of the task force members' personal lives helps me invest more in these characters and subsequently care when they are put in danger. To that end, the show's most developed characters finally had the romantic moment I had been waiting for after they failed to arrive in time to catch Volchek's trucks. Blythe sends everyone home to rest for a few hours before a 48-hour crunch time. Ackles' Mayachum tries to get Camacho's Oliveras to crash with him. They have a moment on his porch where it seems like they'll kiss, but she chooses not to. I'm convinced that Oliveras does not want to let her guard down now that she knows Mayachum doesn't have much time left. From what we've seen, she is someone who doesn't want to get hurt after her vulnerable time undercover. I hope that will change in the future. Maybe whatever happens with Blythe in Countdown makes them closer.